What are we going to do? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. We mentioned back in November that we had a plan. We have this plan. We're going to get our guest house all done and get started. And then we ran into some holidays and we ran into some more holidays. And what we know about Sicilian culture is they take the holidays off. And also we were waiting for a part. But the people that need to send the part also take the holidays off. And we are not, I repeat, not complaining that the Sicilian people have a great work-life balance. But it does mean if we want that same work-life balance, we have to be patient. So we are on the cusp of starting. I've been told we're going to start in the next 7 to 10 days. We are still waiting for that part, which now should be shipped to us here on the island. And in the meantime, I want your feedback on what I should work on next. Besides the plans and working with Jenn and the architect Igor Grapaldi, what else should I do? So I'm going to show you some of the projects and you're going to help me choose what I work on next. Oh, and if you stay till the end, we're going to share a little bit of our Sicilian life and our trip to go pick mandarino and maybe even an orange juice taste test. What do you think? Hello there, and welcome to option number 1. Let's give you a better look. So, what we're calling our option number 1 is the shrine option. So, you've seen this before if you've watched our other videos, and this is an old shrine. And we thought about whether we were going to keep it or not keep it. And then when we removed the bridge that connected this here, which is our bedroom terrace, over to here, which was at about eye level, it opened up the view immensely, and it really gave us a lot more room to keep this beauty. So, what I can tell you is it's not in good shape. This hinge down here is off, and you can look at this, and it is crumbling. Like, it's got paint on top of something, and when the paint comes off, everything else comes off with it. I don't know exactly how to fix it, but this option would include us cleaning it all up, removing the old paint that is loose, talking with our builders who are the experts, and if they don't know, then we'll talk to other people who will be the experts. It'll depend on what material we need to use, and we'll fix her sort of from top to bottom. She has big chunks missing, and we'll remove the rust. We'll clean this. This will be the easy part. I know how to clean with windows, but we want to bring this back, and this is one of the options. Do we want to work on this next? This is your shrine option. Now that I've dragged you all the way out into the garden, let me tell you about the wood option, hence the wood in the background. So, we had to cut down a big tree. You may have seen our video of us cutting down the big tree. This big tree, we found out from some of the ancestors of the person who planted these trees, is that this tree was called Carmelina. So Carmelina was felled, came down, and we had a couple different ideas for what to do with her. So we needed to take her down because she was dying, and we didn't want her to fall or cause damage to our house or any of the other neighboring houses. And we thought, well, maybe there's a woodworker who would like this interesting wood. There's not a big lumber industry here on the island, but this is a very big tree. It's giant. In fact, you can see the remaining tree, which is through this greenery, from all around town. I should put in a picture here of one we saw when we were walking to the orange orchard that we went to, which is going to show up at the end of the video. But here you can see the lone remaining tree. You can find our house. It's like having a big Google Maps marker on it, but it's a tree. So we thought maybe a woodworker would like this tree. It's a Norfolk Island pine, which is a very interesting tree. It'll take you down a Google rabbit hole if you feel like you want to do that. But sort of the center of the tree is a different color wood than the inside. So once it's cut and polished, if you turned it on a lathe or something, the pictures I've seen show that it can be blue to reddish. And where all of the branches came off, the branches have that same sort of central piece. And it's beautiful and it's interesting. I thought, oh goodness, it's windy today. We thought maybe a woodworker would want it. And then we thought maybe a woodworker would use some of the wood and we could have him make us a piece as well. We could do some kind of barter or exchange or something, or pay, who knows? I'm totally holding on to this with dear life now. And then we thought, well, what if we saw one of those, what if we made one of those big pieces of sort of solid wood coffee tables that we see in magazines and stuff? What if we had him make that? It would take a big chunk of the wood. We could pay him, but we could do that as well. And then I was visiting my friend who had a Henry Moore artist book, and I saw some beautiful sort of reclining sculptures. I mean, the people were reclining and they sort of look like benches, but sort of look like reclining people, all in wood, just in wood finish, no paint, nothing else. I'm gonna see if I'm brave enough to let that go now. And we thought, well, maybe I could do that. You need, I think, a chainsaw. I would get a little chainsaw because I don't need to go cutting through big amounts. I would need to sort of carve away like I'm making an ice sculpture. And then I've seen this little power sphere tool. Every company calls it something different, and it fits on an angle grinder. So I need an angle grinder, and I would need also a small chainsaw. And if it doesn't work, like I've lost some wood, but the wood can be used for wood stuff like fires. A lot of people could use the wood, so it's not a loss. I already own the tree. It's laying down in my backyard. I mean, seriously, what could go wrong? So I would also try like a little bit first before I tried the whole big piece. And then we have these tree trunk sort of smaller pieces here that they had to cut down after they got all the branches off. They cut like small wedges down so that they could get down to the pieces that they wanted to save. They couldn't take it down all the way from the top. There's not enough room in my garden. So these, I thought, well, maybe we can get a woodworker to cut these and then plane them, and I could have some beautiful cutting boards or cheese boards, trays from our own backyard. Carmelina would live on in the house. So that's another option, another thing I need to figure out. So what does that mean? Our wood option is, do I start working on this project? Do I figure out where to get the tools, how to get the tools, order the tools, source the tools, try this, figure out if I can find a woodworker who can handle cutting down these logs? Heck, do I even clean up these logs and put 4 legs on them and have a couple fun tables out of this? Who knows? But the wood option is, do I figure out next what to do with the wood? So what do you think? Would you tackle this next? Let's go see the next option. I wanted to show and tell for our next option, which is the tile option. So these are Cimentino tiles. Cimentino. They are thick. You might be able to see that the color translates through the tiles. When these are put down, back down, these came out of our house, they can be sort of sanded down, ground down, I don't know, buffed down, so that they look all brand new again and beautiful. Anyways, we took these out of the rooms. We have a ton of them because we took them out of a bunch of rooms that needed to come out, but they all still have the sort of adhesive cement product, whatever this is. It looks like cement to me. It's not terribly, like you can see it coming off as I do it. I don't know how to take that off, but it either needs to be paid to have we have to pay to someone to do that, or, you know, Matt and I could do it ourselves. There's a lot of stuff here on the house that Matt and I don't know how to do, but I can take a hammer, special hammer, pointy end, and get this off if somebody shows me the right way to do it first. So this option is the tile option. Should we put some blood, sweat, and tears, some elbow grease, some skin in the game? What do you think of this option? Welcome to the pigeon room option. And you've seen this room before. We also call this the solarium, which is the nicer term, but I'm not gonna call it the solarium for reals until all the pigeon poop is out of it. This room is one of the only ones we didn't clean all the pigeon poop out of. And honestly, all the places where we did clean the pigeon poop out of are now dirty with other stuff. So, but I feel better that there's not a layer of bird guano underneath all the dirt. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that. But it's beyond just cleaning this up. The other idea is that this is sort of one of the last rooms that will be done. And so I could set up a couple sawhorses and one of our old doors, entryway doors that are basically flat as a table source. And I can use this to work on cleaning up some of the brass and stuff on the fixtures I've purchased. I have some wood items that I want to give a woodworm treatment to get rid of the woodworms, not to invite them in. And I could just use this. Now, the caveat with this option is that, well, we have a little bit of good news, which is that we have figured out how to have some more funds. So beyond going right into working on the guest house and getting that done, we are talking about what we can do with the next set of funds, which could include demolition. And there's not a lot of demolition left to do, but this room has a lot of it. We are going to take out this wall. See where it says dem? That's demolition. That would come out. So I could get this all up and ready and start to work, and then they could be like, you're out of here. But this honestly was the thing I was thinking I was going to do next, until I decided to like think of other options and give you guys a chance to choose. So what do you think? Do I do the pigeon room option, which means that I would set this space up, clean it up, put my sawhorses down and a table, and get to work in here? That was my original idea. Am I crazy to still do it? Do I cut my losses? Do I work on something else? I don't know. Let's look at the next option. Okay, final option. This I'm calling the flex room option. And if you saw our video with the tour of the ground floor that we did fairly recently, you will have seen this room. So it's actually 4 rooms. There's 2 big rooms. Each of the 2 big rooms have a little side room attached. Let's see, we'll take a little trip. This little side room. So the idea is to take down the dividing wall between the big and the little room for both sets and create 2 big rooms. And these 2 big rooms are going to become flex rooms. What does that mean? That means we could use them as a full bedroom. Each room would have its own full bathroom. We can use it for a yoga retreat. We can use it for a lecture series. We can use it as an art gallery. We can do many, many things And this option is all about finally sitting down and wrapping our head around how we do this, because we don't have any storage. So everything has to be very creative. You know, we've got to figure out how to do a nightstand, but then make nightstands disappear, and how to do maybe a cocktail table for an art gallery opening, and then make them adios. And where do we put a bed and mattress, and how do we make it look like a luxury bedroom one day and a place to do yoga the next? I can't wait to work on this. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little geeked out. This should be the last thing I work on, because this is the last part. We can live in this house without figuring this out. This part, this thing that I want to wrap my brain around. We can knock down the 2 dividing walls to make 2 big rooms and just leave it as is for years. But I don't want to do that. I see a challenge and I want to sit and think about it. And I keep telling myself every time I start to think about it, every time I see a piece of furniture that might work or whatever, I go, shh, 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 shh. Keep your blinders on. Don't look anywhere else, because this isn't what you should be focusing on. And do I just give myself the freedom to do it? So do I treat myself to the brain exercise that is the flex room option? What do you think? So those are our options today. We have the shrine option, the wood option, the tile option, the pigeon room option, or the flex room option. Which one would you pick? And tell me down in the messages, not just which one you would pick, but also what you would do. And let's go and see some picking at our friend's farm. And then we're gonna finish with the taste test of some of our oranges from here and hers from her farm. See what we think. So I thought I should actually show you how we pick an orange. Well, this is a mandarino. And what we want to do, because we're picking these to go to market for our friend, is we cut them off. And then what we want to do is give this one more cut so that it's smooth here, because when we put it in the boxes, we call them cassetti here, we want to make sure that this can't scratch another orange. These are actually, again, mandarino, because what it will do is sort of break the skin and release the essential oils, and then it won't last as long, because these will last for a long time because they're fresh off the tree. I also want to show you, see if my camera will pick it up here. You can see these little, they almost look like little purple dots. And that is from Mount Etna. So you can get them off. It's sort of like they've become inclusions in the skin. So this is one, it's not a perfect one, so we wouldn't send this one to market, which is why I'm okay scratching the surface there. Seeing if you can see the little purple. They look purple. I'm sure they're like a charcoal gray because it's the sabbia, the sand from Etna. Even affects our mandarino. Anyways, that's how we pick an orange here in Sicily, or a mandarino. As we promised, this is the orange taste test. So, Matt, first tell me we have 3 different citrus fruits in the orange family. Can you tell me what you see as a difference between these?
Well, I mean,
and
coloring.
Give them all a stir while you're doing that.
Yeah, so coloring is definitely different. This guy is much more, I would say, closer to the orange on the spectrum than yellow. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I mean, we've got different clarity, a little bit of different amount of pulp. That might be random, but
sure. And what are the 3 types of citrus fruit that that you know are here? That's not a secret. He knows what kind are here.
Yeah. So we have from our friend's farm, we have Washington navel oranges for one of these, which I don't know which is which. We have mandarino for another
mandarins. Yep.
Mandarins, and then from our own garden we have Seville oranges.
See, Sevilla in Spanish. That's not how you say them in Italian, or the Italians just call it a bitter orange. Okay, so you should try a little bit of each one, and then I'm going to ask you if you know which one is which.
Okay.
But as you drink them, you can tell me what you think about each one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll drink along with you.
All right. So that's a nice, nice solid orange juice.
It's not boring.
Not boring. It's got a little bit of zing to it. I think that's great. That's interesting. So that's like a more relaxed kind of orange juice, like not as much zing to it, but the flavor's like, instead of like a sharp acidic piece, it's sort of like more stretched out and, I don't know, laid back.
That's sweeter to me.
Yeah, I would say so. Less zing.
And now, because my cup is different, because I don't have 6 of these cups.
That's interesting. That's kind of in between the 2 of them in terms of like how much citrus sort of zing it has.
Yep.
And taste.
Okay.
So what do we got? Can I juggle?
No, you don't get to juggle. He can juggle.
Sort of.
Maybe another video. No, which one is which? Do you think?
I have no idea. Like I had always just been told, oh, that's a bitter orange. Like like you would never make orange juice with that. And I think any of these 3 are acceptable orange juices for me. I would guess that this middle one is probably our Seville orange.
Okay, you think that's our Seville? Wait, that's the Seville. Sorry, that's the Seville. Okay.
And I would guess that Washington navel was the first one, and Mandarin on the end.
Excellent. You got none of them right. Okay, now I want you to try them again. Okay. So this is the Seville, the bitter orange. I tried it.
It is, okay.
Yep. And it's not that bitter. It really isn't. The Seville orange is known to be a great stock tree. It grows really well here. It likes the Mediterranean, so we actually have a Seville tree. It's been in our videos. Lots and lots of oranges on it. I'm totally picking them, and even though we have a ton of oranges from our friend's garden farm as well. but it's a good one for us to graft other citrus onto. So it's nice to know that we could keep some of these oranges as well.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I feel like everyone had lied to me and said, oh, it's only good for marmalade or something like that. But
it is known for its marmalade.
But,
okay,
yeah.
The next one, the orange one, is mandarin or mandrino. And try it again. It is sweeter and it's oranger. It has an oranger flesh. If you cut them all in half, you would have guessed that, but I cut them all in half. The other difference is the Seville was in the refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
So you could be getting a stronger taste of that. And the sort of middle of the road one, still delicious, is the navel orange.
Yeah.
I'm happy to drink all of those. And
Yeah.
I think also all of those would be great chilled as well, but I would never drink orange juice warm in the United States. But here, we're always ordering spremuta, which is fresh squeezed orange juice. And it's usually whatever temperature the oranges are sitting at.
Yeah, they're
So.
just sitting on the counter and they just throw them in.
And it's like drinking candy. All right, that's it for our taste test. Oh, actually, it's not it. Do you have a favorite?
You know, I'm not sure. I think all of them are good orange juice.
Okay, I'm gonna have you try something. So growing up, my grandfather had grapefruits and oranges, and the oranges were so sweet that he mixed like 1 part grapefruit into 2 parts oranges. So give that a taste. See if we've made the perfect Frankenstein orange juice.
I think that totally works.
So I guess our tip is if you come to Sicily, get a lot of different oranges and mix them all together and enjoy it. And I hope you'll try this yourself. We have all different kinds of oranges in the United States, so you can try this wherever you are. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Our Place in Sicily. Until next time, ciao ciao!